back down. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My 2 Cents, where we cover more pop culture, tech, cars, all that good stuff, non-crypto related. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Today we are rocking out to that 50 Cent Back Down. Love this. This is probably 50 Cent's best album, Get Rich or Die Trying. A classic hip-hop album for sure. What's good, people? Hope you guys are all right. Second video of the day. We're getting it in, people. My 2 cents. And today I got to do a follow-up with the whole Elon Musk thing, people. I went ahead, I went back, watched the interview. Good interview. Good interview. The guy is smart. Let me tell you, the guy is smart. You guys already know this. I was really interested in the whole simulation theory. I'm a firm believer of that, to be honest with you. I don't think we're in base reality. So to hear him talk about that, I knew that he was kind of, they poked fun of him on CNBC about that whole simulation thing, that he thinks that we're in a simulation. But I agree with him. I really do. You guys let me know. Are we in a simulation? In the comments below. Be great to see who thinks we are. I don't think we're in base reality. I think we're in some derivative of the base reality. And what really caught my attention was the fact he said base reality is most likely in the scenario or in the scenario where we're in a simulated reality. Base reality is probably more boring than the simulation, and it makes sense. I never thought about that point, because if you think about it, when you got game developers creating games or even movies, and now that was the analogy he used, movies. When you're creating a movie, it's boring in base reality, but when you put all the editing and everything together, the movie is much more exciting than what reality is to you. And so that's what is always conveyed, or that's what is always expressed when the maker of that simulation, of that movie, of that video game, they're always making it more than, or surreal, right? More than what the base reality can achieve. So I never looked at it that way. I was neat to hear him talk about that. Thought that was cool. He talked about, you know, the boring underground tunnel. He talked about the boring company, the underground tunnel that he's attempting to do in LA. That was interesting. And, you know, I just think the guy is smart. But at the end of the day, this is what this article, this video is about. Again, I have no problem with people smoking weed. You know what I mean? I don't have any problem with that. I think alcohol is worse than weed, to be honest with you. So people were looking at him taking a puff of the joint and kind of just skipped over the whiskey drinking, which I personally think alcohol is worse. It kills more people a year. All that. It's just hands down worse than cannabis. But as a CEO, in my opinion, you have to be able to adjust and recognize what is taboo still, what isn't, and just know when to do things in front of the camera and when not to. That's just something that you should have in your war chest, or in your skill set to discern when to do something and when not on camera. But anyway, to say all that, we all know Elon Musk is the CEO, I believe, of SpaceX. Well, the Air Force is now looking at how they need to deal and respond to Elon Musk smoking weed on camera. So, see, this is what I'm talking about, people. The domino effect. This guy is a very important individual, very influential. He has his hands in many different projects, including the flamethrower. He talked about that as well. But now the Air Force is looking at how they should handle Mr. Musk's behaviors on the Joe Rogan Experience. because Mr. Musk has security clearance with the Air Force because of SpaceX. He has certain clearance levels. So they're looking to see what, or if anything, they need to do in regards to that. This is what I'm talking about, people. This is out of Mashable.com. It says here the Air Force is trying to figure out a response to Elon Musk pot smoking. It turns out the Air Force isn't quite sure what to make of Elon Musk pot smoking either. No, the military hasn't launched a formal investigation into the SpaceX CEO, but it is trying to figure out how to respond to Elon's latest antics. After setting the internet ablaze following an appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, which featured Musk taking a single hit of a spiff, questions have been swirling about whether or not said hit would have any negative consequences for the man or his businesses. These questions kicked into high gear Friday when Fox Business reporter tweeted that the Air Force was looking into Musk's actions, potentially putting his government security clearance at risk. The Air Force later clarified that while it's evaluating the situation, there is not, in fact, an investigation yet. It's inaccurate that there is an investigation. We'll need time to determine the facts and appropriate process to handle the situation, a spokesman told The Verge. Pretty much everything Musk says or does makes headlines, so it's not surprising that his momentary joint smoking on Rogan's podcast is quickly turning into his own news cycle too. Despite the fact marijuana is legal in California and that all the pot shaming really isn't cool anyway, Musk's actions could have serious implications for SpaceX, at least in theory. That's because SpaceX has contracts with the U.S. Air Force, which has markedly different stance on marijuana than Musk. As others have pointed out, people with security clearances are prohibited from using marijuana. Partaking in any way could lose your clearance, but you can sip some of that yak though. Partaking in any way could lose your clearance. Partaking in any way could lose you your clearance, but you can sip some of that yak though. Makes no sense. Which brings us back to Musk. The fact that SpaceX CEO openly smokes while on Rogan's show could potentially create problems for the company's government contracts, the thinking goes. What do you guys think? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope they don't do anything, but this should be a lesson. Definitely should be a lesson learned for Elon. Smart individual, but you just got to take more precautionary steps when you're in the limelight, man. You're a very influential guy. You got your hands on a lot of stuff, and smoking the joint, hitting that blunt on the Rogan show was just not the smartest thing to do. Of course, I would love to know your thoughts and comments about this situation. The Air Force is looking into what Elon Musk did on the Joe Rogan show. You guys let me know your comments about that in the section below. Also, make sure you like and subscribe and show your boy some love. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I'm out. How? Crypto back around.